just feel like this is one of those plants that should be like in your top 12.
Hello and welcome to the Herbs with Rosalee podcast, a show exploring how herbs heal as medicine, as food, and through nature connection. I'm your host, Rosalee de la Forêt. I created this YouTube channel to share trusted herbal wisdom so that you can get the best results when relying on herbs for your health. I love offering up practical knowledge to help you dive deeper into the world of medicinal plants and seasonal living. Each episode of the Herbs with Rosalee podcast is shared on YouTube as well as your favorite podcast app. Transcripts and recipes for each episode can be found at herbswithrosaleepodcast.com or through the link in the video description. Also in the video description, you'll find other helpful resources. For example, to get my best herbal tips, as well as fun bonuses, be sure to sign up for my weekly herbal newsletter. Okay, grab your cup of tea and let's dive in. It's so easy to dismiss lavender simply because it's seemingly everywhere, from laundry detergent to shampoo. But as you'll hear in this episode, most of that isn't actually lavender. True lavender is a potent healing plant with so many gifts. Well, I've heard about Pam Montgomery for many years, so I was really excited to finally meet her. And as you'll hear, this was the perfect time to hear from her about lavender because she just had this powerful experience with this plant. But I'll let her tell this story. For those of you who don't already know her, Pam Montgomery is an herbalist, author, international teacher, earth elder, and new paradigm thinker who has passionately embraced her role as a spokesperson for the green beings and has been investigating plants and their intelligent spiritual nature for more than 3 decades. She's the author of 2 books, one of which is the highly acclaimed Plant Spirit Healing, a guide to working with plant consciousness. Her latest book, Co-Creating with Nature, will be published in the spring of 2025. She teaches internationally and virtually on plant initiations, spiritual ecology, and co-creative partnership with nature. She is the founder of the Organization of Nature Evolutionaries, or ONE, and was a founding board member of the United Plant Savers. Pam, I am so thrilled to have you on the show today. Thank you so much for being here.
I'm so excited to be here. Thank you.
Well, we have so much to talk about. I really resonate with so much of all of the things that you feel like it's important to share, like nature connection and the plants, of course. And first, I would like to begin with your plant path and what has led you here to us today.
That is such a good question because I ask myself that. I have over the years have asked myself that, like, where did this really begin?
Mm.
And I have to say, it sounds kind of like, really? But this is the truth, is that I happen to have the wonderful fortune to have a grandmother who was way into plants. And my grandparents lived in the eastern hills of Kentucky, so Appalachia, Kentucky. And they were like salt of the earth, they didn't drive a car. Neither one of them knew how to drive. And they would go to church once a month on the other side of the mountain. Somebody'd have to come and pick them up and drive them there. And they were just these amazing people. And my grandmother, in the South, you have your main meal at like noontime. And so she would spend all morning in the kitchen cooking and all that. And then we would have like dinner, and then she'd clean up. So by about 2 or 3 in the afternoon, she'd come outside, and she had plants everywhere, and like all inside the house and then all outside the house. And she'd come outside and she'd be picking and pruning and doing all this stuff, but she would talk the whole time. And so I was little. I was a little girl, and I would come over to her and say, "Granny, who are you talking to?" And in her very Kentucky accent, she would say, "Well, plants are just like people. They need friends too." And so my grandmother, what she instilled in me, and it wasn't like it was cognitive information exchange. It wasn't like that. It was more kind of osmosis or something. But what she instilled in me was that you talk to your plants, and that's what you're supposed to do. And so that's the message I got really early on. And so I just assumed that's what everybody did. And then when I got older and started to getting into the herbal world and all that, it was kind of like a hard landing when I found out, oh no, not everybody does do that. As a matter of fact, some people roll their eyes into the backside of their heads when you start talking like that. And so it was this really interesting kind of thing for me to like totally think this is the way it was for years and years and years and years and years. And then to find out, not everybody thinks that way. And and even in the early days to get labeled as the airy fairy herbalist. And I was like, what are they talking about? I don't even know any fairies. so, so, so anyway, I would say it began with my grandmother because she was like, the sun rose and set over top of this woman. I loved her so much. And it just, I mean, the teenage and early 20s were kind of a blank, but beyond after that, I just became so incredibly interested in plants. And I was part of the Back to the Land movement back in the early 70s. And back in those days, there weren't 15 million herb books sitting on the shelf. There was like two, there was like Jethro Kloss, and, it was like, there wasn't a lot out there back in the early 70s. And so we lived on the land, we grew our own food. And part of that was taking care of your own health. And so we really got into the plants, but there was really nobody. I mean, we were on the East Coast. If we had been on the West Coast, then maybe there had been some teachers at that point in time, but not really where we were. And so we just started working with plants and hoping for the best. I mean, literally. And, and then as time went on, then more people got into it. And then I just became so interested in plants and just dove right in. And then there was a point in time where things started to happen that I couldn't explain. And so I got really interested in kind of like understanding plants on kind of that bigger level and more than the chemical constituents of the plants and how they affected your body. I wanted to know more because there was these things happening. It started in my garden. And then from there, it was just like, what is going on here? So then I started reading all the books like Findhorn and books and just was really interested in kind of I could use the word spiritual aspect of the plants because I have talked about plant spirits. But when I use the word spirit, I'm referring to the vital principle that is held to give life. So it's what makes life live. So that vital piece. And so I've always kind of delved into that a little bit more just because that's where my interest lies. So over the years, I have found out this wonderful thing where it's like the old Buddhist saying, when the student's ready, the teacher appears. And that's the way it's been with the plants. When I'm ready, they kind of here you go, and hand me something else. And so it keeps it really dynamic and interesting and never gets boring. And I just feel I feel blessed. I just feel blessed to be a person who I mean, I get to do this for a living. I mean, it's like, wow, great. Woo, I feel so lucky. Anyway, so that's kind of been my story, and it just continues to unfold. It just continues to be amazing. So
I love that whole story, Pam, and starting with your grandmother and just that representation of this lineage, ancestral lineage being passed down to you in an unbroken way. And that's, I think, one of the biggest travesties of our time is that line has been broken, because I know every single one of us, if we go back far enough in time, we will find someone who loved the plants, whether, they were foraging for their own food or maybe using plants as medicine. There's somebody there in our lineage, and you're
yes.
enough to have that the memory of the lineage there. Yeah, it's very special.
It is very special. And I feel so grateful. And like I said, I didn't, I mean, I don't remember. I think I was too young to but my mom and I went, my aunt was living there at the family farm. And my mom and I went to visit her. I was probably at this stage, I was probably, oh, I was in my 30s. And we went, and my Aunt Loretta, it was springtime. So I said to my mom, I said, oh, let's go out and pick some greens for our salad. And, she kind of was like, oh, okay, whatever, just to, kind of make me happy. And so we did, and we picked all these greens and we brought them in. And my Aunt Loretta, she knew, she said, oh, she said, Mommy and I used to go pick those. And I said, you did? And she said, oh, yeah. She said, we used to do that. And she called them all by the name. She said, oh, well, yeah, this is sour grass and this is white top. And she called them by all the common names of that area. And I was just like, it was like the first time that I really knew that, oh, she really knew the plants. She knew which, and of course, all of her 7 children, all of them were born at home. They all, she didn't go to a hospital. It was too far. So that I was just like, okay, she was having these kids at home. You got to know that there were some herbs involved here. So anyway, it was really great for me to have that happen, to know that she, it wasn't just my idea that she must have known plants because she had so many, but she really did. So it was just like, oh, great. That's so good to know.
Oh, that's a really nice confirmation.
Yeah.
And I like, you were so young, you didn't learn like necessarily plant facts or plant names or whatever, but it's that like those values that got passed down to you. And that's,
Exactly.
yeah.
Exactly.
And that's all, like in some ways, all you needed, right, Pam? Because look at what you did.
Well, actually, I think it was really important that I got that kind of message early on. I think that is really what directed me and guided me. And I always trusted that was for real.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like, oh, did I make that up? It was none of that. And so I think it was really, really like fortunate that's how I started out instead of the other way around. I think so many people start out the other way around. And I just feel really fortunate. So
yeah. What a gift that your grandmother handed down to you.
Yeah.
Well, I have been busy in my own garden harvesting bushels of lavender. This is the first year I've harvested this much lavender. I think I have maybe 30 plants. And the reason why I have 30 plants for home use is because I can't bear to cut it. And so every year I'm like, oh, I need more lavender because I don't have enough yet to justify cutting down, because the pollinators love the lavender so much.
They do.
And so it's hard to take them away. But somebody clued me in last year. They were like, well, and the other thing is it's beautiful. And so it's sad to cut it down and then have a mound where this like beautiful, lavender was before. And so somebody clued me in last year to just harvest like a ring around the edge of every plant. And so then I get to harvest some, but then there's still some remain that are both beautiful and for the pollinators. So I'm pretty excited about that. I have lavender hanging all over my house. The whole house is smelling like lavender right now. So I'm pretty excited that you chose lavender for your plant. And I'm excited to hear what you have to share about lavender.
Well, I was just in France. So
okay.
In the lavender fields of Provence. And I knew when you asked me about this, I knew that I was like, ooh, that's going to be like a little bit after I get back from France. And so I was like, I'm definitely going to do lavender because it's going to be so like up for me, it'll be so present. And so basically, here's what happened, which is, I mean, it's kind of like phenomenal. I mean, I'm actually really trying to stop saying that about the plants, that like, oh my God, they're so incredible. Well, yeah, they are. And so stop being surprised when these amazing things happen. But they just seem so miraculous. Anyway, so I went to lavender. I was invited to lavender by this woman who, her name's Celine, and she does summits and things like that. So a year or more ago, she had invited me to be in a summit, and she had said, "Oh yeah," she said, "Oh yeah, I live in France." I said, "Oh really? What part?" And she said, "Oh, I live in Provence." I said, "You live in Provence?" And she said, "Yeah." I said, "You mean like where there's lavender fields?" And she said, "Oh yeah." And I was like, oh, I've always wanted to go to Provence. I've always wanted to go to the lavender fields. And she said, oh, well, you want to come and teach with about lavender? And I was like, yes. It took me like 30 seconds to say yes. And so anyway, so that happened at the beginning of July when everything was blooming in France. And so we did 5 days, and she's an aromatherapy person. So we did 2 days of that part. And then we did 3 days of plant initiation. So I'm doing these things called plant initiations, which is basically one plant. We do one plant for 3 days, and we make it's an ingestible plant usually, and we make what I'm calling an elixir. It's not technically an elixir, but that's what I'm calling it. And so different parts of the plant, different mediums, water, alcohol, hydrosol, whatever, there might be. And then if it's an aromatherapy plant, if it has a lot of volatile oils, then we'll do something, that you'll have to smell and all that kind of stuff. So I went there, and we did 2 days of we went to the fields. We did the whole aromatherapy. We went to the distilleries. We did all that for 2 days. And then my part was the initiation. And I had another woman who helps me. She lives in the UK, and she came and helped. And it was unbelievable. It was so fabulous. And it's funny because, I look at you with your bundle of lavender. I'm like, oh, I mean, I've never been able to grow lavender very well here. I mean, a little bit here and there. It never makes it through the winter. So it's always an annual if I do get it to grow. There's a lot of rain here, and it just doesn't seem hot and dry and sunny enough here. So it's not really been like one of my main boogie plants. I mean, I love it. And I've always had this kind of thought about it, like, oh, it sort of reminds me of like a little country cottage with, a grandma that lives in the country cottage and little sachets, I've had that kind of attitude.
It's better than like laundry detergent, because that's
It's
some
better
people.
than laundry detergent.
That's like what
For
it's
sure.
become.
For
Yeah.
sure. For sure. And I don't mind that image at all. I mean, little grandmas in cottages is fine with me. I mean, I had one of those, but I never really realized how powerful of a plant this is. I mean, this is a potent plant. So, just the chemical constituents of this plant are incredible too. It's got all the antis, anti-inflammatory, antimicrobial, antiseptic. It's like all of those, like antiviral, antifungal. I mean, all of those. So it does all of that kind of stuff. And then it goes into like, mood enhancing, it's some people use it for depression, and it helps with memory. I just learned that one just with Karis Lindruth, and she did a whole thing about memory. And she said, oh yeah, lavender is really good for your memory. And I'm like, oh, I'm so glad for that one. And so, and it's, it helps to improve sleep, which sleep's never been one of my strong points. So, it relieves pain. It's really good for burns. I mean, so it's just this amazing plant on a physical level. But then you look at its broader qualities. And so what was coming to me as I was investigating this plant and just kind of tuning in and being like, okay, so I'm going to France. We need to get to be like homies here now. And so it was like, I kept having this, like, what would I call it? Like internal monologue, an internal monologue that I was having with myself, I guess. And I kept going into this place of like inner peace. Like, what's inner peace? And like asking myself that question, like, do you know what inner peace is? I mean, I kept doing this. And so finally I went to Lavender. I said, would you have anything to do with this inner monologue that's going on about inner peace? And Lavender's like, well, yeah. And I'm like, okay, inner peace. What the heck is inner peace? Or more likely, how do you get there? So lavender, and this came out quite a bit with the group of people that was at the lavender initiation. There was people from all over the world, There was people from Singapore, all over Europe. There are people from the States, people from Canada, people from Hawaii. I mean, it was like a seriously international group that came. And so many of them. It was amazing to watch. So here's what it was. Here's what happened was that old trauma, like all that stuff from the past that you spend 20 years in therapy over, and then you still have to run it through every now and then. Lavender is like helps you to be done, like done. Now, it doesn't mean that this gets miraculously whisked away. It just means that you stop spending so much energy on healing from it. And so it frees up your energy so that you can put your energy toward being all you possibly can be, living to your full potential. And that when that kind of energy is freed up from constantly trying to heal something that doesn't seem to really want to heal, it's brings about inner peace because you're not worrying about it anymore. Your energy's freed up. It's not sucking you dry, sucking your energy dry. And it was just this amazing kind of thing. So it's kind of like you're not it's like you can become the person, the healed person, instead of the one constantly seeking healing and we're talking primarily on an emotional level. So, I mean, there are other traumas. It's not just emotional. There's chemical traumas, chemicals in the atmosphere. I mean, and EMF trauma, EMF, like massive EMFs. There's those kind of traumas as well. But I'm talking mostly on the emotional level of the people trauma, mostly people traumas. So it's just this amazing. I mean, I can't say enough good things about lavender now. I'm just smitten by lavender. And
You know what that reminds me of, Pam, is have you heard David Winston talk about lavender for stagnant depression?
Oh, interesting.
And he describes like what you have basically described, which I think is so fascinating because you found this through like this recent work and watching all these people go through this. But he describes it for stagnant depression when somebody has depression that they're like fixated on something and they can't move beyond it for an
That's
extended period of
perfect.
time.
Stagnant depression.
And so I
Wow.
love this confirmation of like you
I'm
have
gonna
now.
have to write that one down. Stagnant depression. Wow. Leave it up to David to come up with a couple of words put together like that. Okay.
Well, I'm so glad that you shared this story though, because it gives so much more like, yeah, just as you're explaining it, I just really had that sense and it just really
Yeah.
makes sense. And what a gift from
Yeah.
lavender. What an
Oh,
incredible gift.
it's huge. I mean, it's huge because it really, I mean, when I talk about freeing up energy, I mean, even for the short amount of time that we spent together, and there was, I don't know, 20 plus of us, was watching people, their energy free up. It was phenomenal. And I just felt so like grateful to have had this experience with this plant. I don't know that I ever would have if I hadn't gone there, because I don't really have very much of it here. So I don't spend a lot of time with it. I mean, I've got my lavender essential oil, and I've got, all of that, but I wouldn't have spent the time like this with it, and then being around people that are like really going deep. And these people, oh man, they went deep and they bonded almost immediately, which was just watching them. Like, I mean, they were so happy to be together and bonding, which of course that was lavender too, of course, doing that. But, and then I learned so much about this plant. I mean, there's a big thing in France. I don't know that it's so big here, where of true lavender, and then the lavender that's
Lavandin.
lavandin. Yes,
Yeah.
lavandin, which is a cross. But I found out, maybe you know this. So it's Lavandula angustifolia and Lavandula latifolia, which make the hybrid, the cross, the lavandin. But it was not done. It was not manipulated by humans. It was not GMO'd or anything like that. It happened with bees. There are so many bees, as you know, that love lavender. And these two species grow together at a little higher elevation. It's not in the coastal area. It's not low down. It's a little bit higher, 600 meters or so. It's not super high, but it's a little bit up in the hills. And the particular kind of bees that are up there, they're the ones that crossed these two. So it's really like, and then I learned that the lavandin has a lot. It's the latifolia. It's the latifolia species that has lots of camphor in it. And so the lavandin then tends to have more camphor. The angustifolia has very little camphor in it. It has other essential oils like linalool. I have a hard time wrapping my tongue around that word. Linalool and linolene. Those are the two big ones, essential oils. But camphor is very stimulating, and it is not good to be working with lavandin for sleep. And so for me, that's really important. It's like, that's an important distinction here. Very important distinction. So for all your listeners here, if you're really wanting to work with lavender to be like, calm everything down, bring the anxiety down, all that stuff, you really got to be thinking about which plant you're working with. And if here anyway, I mean, I'm sure there's reputable places where you can buy and they know what they're selling. But if you just kind of go into a health food store, you don't necessarily know what you're getting. And so it's important to know that if you want it for kind of, it's more relaxing and calming and soothing and especially for sleep. So that was really good for me to learn that one. And the tendency there is they grow a lot of the lavandin because it's real tall. It's it's beautiful color and it's very bushy and all of that. So it's there's a lot of it commercially grown.
Yeah. And like so much of the fields of lavender that we see, stock images and just kind of all of that, most of that is lavandin that we see.
Most of that is lavandin.
Because it's the most striking. Yeah.
It's the most striking and it's tall. They call it spike lavender because it's so tall. And interesting, here's the other little tidbit. The true lavender is actually English lavender.
That is a funny thing to me.
So it's kind of like, okay.
Yeah, the lavandula angustifolia is the English lavender.
Yeah, that's the English lavender. So, but that's what they call true lavender in France. So, but I have to say, being where there's just like, I mean, so many fields, and it's almost like it just and they go on. These fields go on and on and on and on and on and on. It's just kind of like. And some of them, they range in color from kind of a lightish purple to a dark purple. And it's like eye candy. It's unbelievable how stunning it is. It's really stunningly beautiful. So I felt really blessed to be able to go there. It's been on my bucket list forever. So I really, really wanted to go. And it was just wonderful. And to be with so many people that were just super getting into it. And it was fabulous. It was a fabulous experience. So I just feel like this is one of those plants that should be like in your top 12.
Yeah, I feel like there are people who love lavender, but because it's so common, and I think because it's in like dish detergent and it can feel overused or just has lost its mystique. But you had quickly mentioned so many things that it's good for, and those all ring so true.
Yeah.
And I love that you were able to experience lavender in Provence. I'm actually a French citizen, and I do get to spend time in Provence, but I've never been there for the lavender because it's hard to leave in the summer. But hearing you describe it, I do have a friend, Swanee.
A week. You can go there and like do a podcast over there with somebody. I mean, really, let
it
it
a work trip.
become, you can make it a little minor work trip, so then you can justify it. And so,
It sounds beautiful.
but I'm telling you, you really do need to experience it before
And there's
this
something
lifetime's up.
to be said about Provence. And one of the first times I ever went there, I met Christophe Bernard, who became a good friend of mine. But he was so snotty about the plants. He was like snobby, like super snob, like, oh, they're so much more potent here because they grow in the limestone soils and it's so hot. And I was like, yeah, right. You're just like, you just are from here, so that's what you think. Oh
Right.
my gosh, though. I mean, the plants there are so incredibly aromatic because it is
They
such
are.
harsh conditions and it's where they're from.
They are.
Lavender grows, now we have all the plantations of lavender, but it grows wild there.
Well, the
Same
next
with
time I
thyme
go,
and rosemary and savory, they're
right,
all from
right.
there.
They're all well, and there's lots of fields. I mean, there was clary sage. There were fields of
Mm,
clary sage, and fennel. There was fields of
mm,
fennel, and I mean, there's so much. It smells so good there. It's like,
yeah, yeah.
and I do understand what he's saying, but I mean, it smells good here too.
Yeah, sure, sure. When I'm in Provence, nothing is better than the herbs there. When I'm in my garden, nothing's better than the herbs in
It's
my
true.
garden.
It's true.
So I'll
And
say that.
I have a gardener that's helping me this year, and she's really good. She knows her stuff. And I said, because after this, I was like, I really need to get some lavender growing. She said, well, I'll tell you what we can do. And I said, but it's going to need really good drainage, and it's going to need a lot of lime, and limestone. And we actually do have a lot of limestone here because we have a lot of marble, and marble is, it's a limestone. And so she said, well, we'll just build it up just a little bit. We'll build it up, and we'll make sure it's got real good drainage. We'll put some limestone in there. And she said, well, don't worry, we'll put it in a really sunny spot. And I was like, okay, what happens when it rains for a week though? but anyway, so I'm excited. So next
Yeah.
year we got the area picked out, and we're going to start working on making the beds right for it. And next year I'm going to have a great big bed of lavender. I'm so
Mhm.
excited.
I'm excited
Yes,
for you.
I'm
Spoken
so
like a true
excited.
herbalist. Like, I will move mountains to make this grow.
Exactly. Right. Yeah, I'm kind of on that. I'm on that mission now.
Mhm.
So, but yeah, I would really like to, say to everybody, like, yes, this is a well-known plant. Yes, it may be kind of, unfortunately, worked with and used in ways that are kind of like, okay, ho hum, everything smells like lavender. Although these days I'm buying everything that's got lavender. I'm kind of like, oh, great. We need more shampoo. Okay, great. We'll get lavender shampoo. Oh, we dish liquid. Okay, let's get lavender dish liquid. So I am a little bit obsessed right now, but
Isn't it
it's a
fun to become
fabulous plant.
obsessed about a plant after you've been an herbalist for so many years and then kind of have this new best friend? I love
I
it. Every time
know.
that happens to me, it's just so much fun. It feels so invigorating and energizing and just,
Well,
yeah.
it's just kind of exciting to really have a new best friend. I
Yeah.
mean, that's how I feel. It's just
Yeah.
and one that I've known for such a long time, but we weren't besties. And
Mhm.
so I just feel fortunate that I had this opportunity to go hang with lavender in this way. And and now, like, I've got my lavender syrup. Can you see
Oh,
it?
that's exactly what I wanted to talk about next is your
Yeah.
lavender syrup recipe.
Well, it's just your basic syrup recipe. But I mean, I put 2 tablespoons of it in my seltzer, and
Hmm.
it's really yummy.
I
It's really
love
delicious.
lavender as a like a food or a flavoring. I love lavender ice cream. I love like, adding just a little bit of lavender to teas, like lavender lemonade. So having this syrup, I've never made a syrup of lavender before. I'm
Oh,
really
you
excited
haven't?
to try it. Yeah.
Oh, well, it's simple. It's just your base. Well, the way I make syrups, maybe some people make syrups differently, but it's real simple. Just start with an infusion, uh, boil it down, steam it down to half its volume. You can even double decoct it. You can do even half of the half, and it makes it a little bit thicker. Not It's never really thick, but
Mhm.
it'll just make it a little more concentrated. But yeah, so basically, everybody's gonna get the lavender recipe. Oh, good.
Yes,
Okay,
yes. So
it's
For the listeners, if you go to the show notes, you can find a link there so you can download your own beautifully illustrated copy of this lavender
Yeah.
syrup recipe.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's simple. You make an infusion, and I gave instructions about how to do that. This is all very simple. What I have found, I suggest putting some brandy in it, just if you want to preserve it. Like it'll last, if you got brandy in it, in the refrigerator for a long time. I say 3 weeks, and that's really if you don't put brandy in it, but it'll last up to 3 months if you put a little brandy in it. But you don't have to. If you're not into alcohol, you don't have to put the brandy in it, because honey, if you're going to use honey as a sweetener, that's a little bit that's a little bit preservative to it. So I have used in this recipe, which is we're just doing like a quart of a quart size jar, like a half a cup of honey. It's a little sweet, mostly because people think of syrups as being sweet. So it's a little sweet for my taste. So I might cut back just a little bit on that honey, half a cup, and maybe go down a little bit. But when you mix it, so like that recipe with a half a cup of honey, the one that I gave you, I put 2 tablespoons in this size of a glass of seltzer, and it's perfect. It's just the right amount. It's got lavender flavor. It's a little bit sweet, but not sicky sweet. And it's delicious. It's so good. It's so refreshing. So
You're making like lavender soda, basically. You've made your own lavender soda.
basically, you're making lavender soda. That's
Oh, I
exactly
love
right.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like I'll just do like a little tablespoon before I go to bed at night, like a little bit before I'm going to go to bed. Just as that, like, let's drop it down a few notches. And yeah, you can put it over ice cream. I mean, you can do all kinds of things with it. And you can get fancy and add a little, you might want to add a little rose, something, whether rose and lavender go so well together. You can do that. You can get fancy and add other herbs, but it's just delish. So I really like it.
And I notice you're using dried lavender, so people can
Yes.
make this all year long. So use it, like make it, use it up, then you can make it again. It doesn't have to
Right.
last forever.
Yeah. So if you've got fresh lavender, then certainly use fresh lavender. I didn't have any fresh lavender. So, and I brought home, of course, a big bag of the true lavender. So I had this lovely, gorgeous dried lavender, and then I made a batch, and oh, it's just so good. It's really good. So yes, year round.
Well, thank
Year
you
round.
so much for sharing that with us, Pam.
Sure.
Well, do you have anything else you'd like to share about lavender before we move on?
Well, I could probably go on and on about it. Just a couple little fun little tidbits.
Sure.
Was that I discovered this as I, doing once I get into an herb, like I'll research it up the wazoo, because I just want to know everything about it. It's kind of like, when you like are newly in love, you want to know everything there is to know about either that person, or in this case, this plant. So I had to like do a bunch of, in Greek mythology, lavender was a gift from Artemis, which I was like, oh, Artemis is associated with lavender. That is so interesting. And the gifts were purity, protection, and transformation. So I was like, wow, okay, I like that. But I would not think of Artemis, because I always think of Artemis as like, she's like, oh, she's like, she's like more like mugwort, Artemisia. But so anyway, that was kind of interesting to me, that the Greeks and the name, it was when the Romans brought lavender from Arabia to the rest of Europe, basically, and they called it lavar, to bathe, because everybody put lavender in their bath. And it makes so much sense, of course, too, because it's not just smell good, but it does a lot of cleaning of getting unwanted thingies off your body. It's very, so I'm thinking back in those days, it was probably really a great thing to put in your bath, and more than just for the smell. So, What we found during the initiation was it was seemed to be very much associated with third eye and crown. So this part of your chakra system, your third eye chakra and your crown chakra. Many people had lots going on up here. I experienced it a lot in my third eye. It was like this. How do I describe it? It was like we'd take a drink of the elixir, and we would drink. So during an initiation, you drink 16 ounces total throughout 3 days. So 2 ounces 8 times was how many times you drink. And each time that we would drink, we would take time to pay attention to what was happening in our body, or, what was going on, what was marching across the radar screen, what was, what kind of emotions were coming up, what sensations were we feeling in the body. So we went through it all, and everybody, not everybody shared, but a lot of people would share what's going on. So a lot happening up in the crown, but then a lot happening in the third eye. And for me, it was like this, like I had to like it was a shutter going down. It's like I had to squint my eyes. It was like the light was almost too bright. It was like I needed to like just, squint my eyes a little bit. And then my third eye just really became activated, almost to the point where I had to like squint, and like there was so much going on. I was like, I got real squinty because it was, anyway. So this part of the body, we found mostly, and I think it activates the pineal gland. The pineal gland sits right behind your third eye, and I was kind of like, so I would like to check that out further. That's a kind of like, let's look into this one a little bit further. But I have a sense that it affects the pineal gland somehow. So, so there was that. And it's like, when I looked up, like in the language of the plants, like the word that is, they talk about with lavender in the language of the plants is tenderness. However, it's not tenderness in the sense like people might think, that might mean weakness. And it's not a weak plant at all. It's kind of like, because it has to do with love and romance and all of that as well. But it's not the sappy kind of love and romance. It's not like that. It's more like your tenderness becomes like this massive strength, and you're able to have strength of heart because of also this quality of being able to be tender. It's kind of hard to describe. It's kind of like your heart is able to sit on the throne, and your heart is able to be, but it's not, it's the strength. It's a strength in your heart. I don't know. I don't know how to describe that part and how to explain that one, but it's really, really powerful and tender at the same time. So,
one of the senses that I'm getting from this, Pam, that I just want to highlight is this approach to herbalism as relationship. And I love that at this retreat, students had the opportunity to really be with lavender as a companion for 3 days in so many different ways. And I think that's something, maybe everybody couldn't be in Provence with you, but that's something everyone can do. You could choose an herb, whether
absolutely.
it be lavender or another, and set aside 3 days to be like, I'm going to spend 3 days forming this relationship, getting to know you, diving head first into it all. And then what you learn from it, like your struggle to like explain exactly what you mean, is because you felt it. It's not something that you memorized, that you learned from someone else, and now you're going to, repeat it. But it's like something that inherently is this,
Yes.
energetic pattern within you, which is so powerful.
Yeah, that's what these plant initiations are about. I mean, I'm doing lots of them these days, and I was just so fortunate to be able to do this one with lavender, but it's very experiential. So yeah, you're right. It goes back to that back to my grandmother of like, she was out there, experiencing it. And then that's kind of like, oh, you talk to them. Oh, you experience them in that way. And, but yes, it's very experiential. It's not heady stuff at all. Not to say that you don't, engage your brain, because of course you do too. But it's kind of like a whole body experience and a whole beingness experience, I should say. just on so many levels. And then because this is such an aromatic plant and bringing in all the essential oil piece of it and all of that, I mean, it was just a full on experience. It was great. So yes, people can do this on their own. And I have a book that's going to be coming out in the spring, and there's a whole section on plant initiations, and it tells how to go about doing a plant initiation and how to make the elixir and all of that so that people can do their own.
Oh, that's so exciting. I'm actually very excited to talk about your book. Can we talk about that now?
Yeah, sure.
All right. Tell us about your spring release. This book sounds so cool.
Okay. Well, it's called Co-Creating with Nature, Healing the Wound of Separation. Mm-hmm. So that's the title. And this, I mean, I feel like I've been talking about this kind of thing for so many years. And it's really coming to the place of the plants. And I think partly this initiation process is part of it. If I were to say there was anything that was going to save the world, I would say it's plants and trees, and how they are stepping up to. So in the initiation process, initiation, generally we think of it as kind of like young people being initiated into the tribe, and that there's elders who initiate the young people. So, which helps them to integrate into kind of the collective or into a tribal kind of situation. So nowadays, here we are, and a lot of the elders are gone. We don't have a lot of elders that are doing anything like this anymore. I mean, maybe here or there, like little spots of them, but not really, not on a mass way. And so here we are, a culture full of uninitiated adults that don't have a clue how to live sanely, keyword, within the collective. So I feel like part of the chaos on the planet right now is because of this. And so the plants in their evolution are stepping up to the plate to serve as the elder. They're the initiator, not me. I'm just the one that says, hey, let's drink this elixir and let's do these kinds of activities with the plants. If you all want to do something else because it's your initiation, then go right ahead. But so I'm just making suggestions. I'm the facilitator, not the initiator. The plant is the initiator. And so these plants and trees are stepping up to initiate us into what it means to be truly human, walking the path we came here to walk and living within the collective sanely, which means accepting diversity and getting over the us and them thing and stopping destroying the planet. That's what it all means. So I feel like these plants are these magnanimous beings. Anyway, this book is about that. And it also goes into, how did this separation happen? When did it start? Like, how did it happen? We've fallen into this extremely deep amnesia. Like, we have forgotten who we are. We don't remember who we are, not truly what it means to be truly human as part of a good steward on this planet and caring for the planet in a good way. That's who we are, but we've forgotten that. And so it goes into like the whole separation and what that's created and how to get back. How do we get back to being a part of nature? Because we are. I mean, ultimately, we are part of nature too. So it's it talks about that and how this wound of separation is. It's like the original wound is when we became separate from nature, and then we forgot. We forgot how to talk to the plants and communicate with the plants. It's here. We just forgot it. So it's a remembering process. So it talks a lot about that. And then of course there's a whole section about plants, plant initiations. There's a whole section in the book that's about the initiations we've done, and the plants and what came in during the initiations and all of that. So there's a whole section on that too. So yeah, I'm excited. It's been a long time coming, this particular book, but it is happening. And I'll talk a lot about interbeing, which is word that was coined by Thich Nhat Hanh, who's a monk, a Vietnamese monk who's passed on now. But so interbeing is basically means interconnection, like how we're connected. And so it talks a lot about interbeing and how in our evolution that we're moving toward interbeing. And so I'm excited.
Oh, it sounds so lovely, Pam. It sounds like one of my favorite genres of books, like in the same vein of Robin Wall Kimmerer and Sharon
Yes.
Blackie, and very much what my Rooted Medicine Circle is based around too. So this is very much like, I can't wait for this book.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, thank you for writing it, and look forward to that release in spring of 2025.
Yes.
Do you have any other projects that you're working on that you would like to share about?
Well, projects. Let's see. I always seem to have. I keep saying, oh, I'm going to slow down. I'm going to cut back. I'm going to slow down, and then there's this like empty space, and it's like, oh, great, look at that. So, I'm kind of like that. Well, let's see. I'm a part of an organization called the Organization of Nature Evolutionaries, otherwise known as ONE, which I actually started this organization back in 2013, and we just continue to. I'm pretty excited by a few years back we did something called a summit called Women Working for the Earth. That was very fabulous and very exciting, and we're continuing to put together some kind of longer programs for people. So I would just say join the one. It's a nonprofit organization. Join one. Get on the mailing list so you can see what's coming up with that organization, because we got some exciting stuff coming up. And then the online world is we wouldn't be here together if it wasn't for this lovely ability to be online. And I created, during the time period when we couldn't be meeting in person, I created an online course, and it's lengthy, but it's a course that's about co-creative partnership with nature. So we go into all kinds of stuff in that one, and it's a long one. It's an 8-month course. We're in the middle of it right now, so it will begin again in the spring, this next in May of 2025. But what we've done this year is we divided the first 4 modules and the second 4 modules into part 1 and part 2, and have created a self-directed course so that you can join it at any time. You can do either part 1 or part 2, or you can do both. And you can move along at your own pace. And so anyway, so we did do that this year. And so that's available to people year round. So yeah, that's some of the stuff that I got going on.
Wonderful.
As well as doing initiations. So elder is our plant this year. And I've already done one. I'm going to do another one in the fall, and I'm going to do elder online. So.
Oh, fun. This work, I think, is some of the most important work that we can be doing right now, healing this wound of the supposed nature disconnection. Like you said, we're still there. We just need to remember it. So thank you for that, and for all the really interesting ways that you're helping people kind of weave that wound back together. Yeah. Well, before you go, Pam, I have one last question for you. And that question is, how do herbs instill hope in you?
Well, I've been talking to you the whole time about
it feels like it. It feels like it. Yeah.
I mean,
it's just woven throughout your being.
Yeah, it's just like, kind of adding the little cherry on top here of what we've been talking about. Well, I just, I feel grateful in my life that I've been able to have such an adult life. Most of my adult life has been with the plants, and where the plants have brought me. Even like I was just in New York, Western New York, this past weekend doing I was the keynote speaker at one of the conferences there, and it was all about our original blueprint. And so it was kind of like, okay, what is this original blueprint like that we've forgotten, and that we've kind of gotten so far away from, and who are we really, that kind of thing. And it's a lot about our brilliance, and that we were really born. I mean, at the moment of conception, there's this massive spark, lightning, whatever you want to call it, of light that happens. I mean, and some are saying that it's 10,000 times brighter than the sun, and it's a flash. It's like, that's conception. So we're conceived in light. And then we start to, multiply cells till you get to like 30 or 40 trillion cells that make up this body of ours. And at the nucleus of those cells, at the DNA level, are biophotons, which are particles of light. All living organisms across the planet have biophotons. And in the science, they say that it's biophotons and biophonons, light and sound, that carry a vibratory resonance. And all communication in the biological world takes place through light and sound. So we are, so the big question for me that is coming up in all this kind of looking into like our original blueprint, which came from original brilliance, is like, are we designed to be enlightened? What does that mean? Because when you have an intact strand of DNA, it's they call that coherence, when it's makes a beam of light, and it's so much more dynamic. And they talk about it being a laser for coherent quantum intelligence and all this stuff. And I'm like, okay. And then there's all this DNA that they used to call junk DNA that they're now calling non-coded DNA. Thank goodness they changed that title. That's in little pieces. It's not intact. And so I could go on and on about this, as you can see. But basically, I have hope when I start to realize that I think we're designed to be enlightened. I don't think enlightenment is something you have to spend, your whole life or several lifetimes trying to attain. I think we have the capacity for it because we are beings of light. And so I think the work part here is in all that DNA that exists there. 1% of our DNA, 1% is intact. We have two double, it makes a double helix spiral. So we have 2 intact strands. We have the capacity for 12. We have the capacity for 12. So through epigenetics, we're learning that we can encode DNA, and we can encode it through behavior and environment, the environment we find ourselves internally, externally. We can encode in DNA with what we want. So that means the DNA can be encoded with peace, love, harmony, unity, on and on and on. And epigenetically speaking, it takes 1 generation. It does not take thousands of years to evolve into that. 1 generation. I think we have the ability, and plants are bringing this to us. Plants are helping us to come into our original brilliance and come into our having the ability to start lining this DNA to start lining up, because it's a remembering process. And as we begin to remember, then the DNA lines up. We encode it with what we want to create. What do we want to create in our life? We encode that with it. And within 1 generation, that it expresses through the genes, epigenetically speaking. And in 1 generation, it gets inherited by the next generation. I find that hopeful. And it's the plants that are helping us to remember and to wake up to all of this. It sounds a little far out, but hey.
This is like quantum mechanics meets an herbalist.
Right. Yeah. I just ask questions. I'm just like, what does that mean? Biophoton. Okay. All right. I know the scientific, definition of biophoton, and what else? I'm like, I always want to know, like, and is there more? So.
Well, thank you so much, Pam, for sharing your wisdom about lavender, for sharing relationship-based herbalism, for your thoughts on epigenetics and all of it. And it's just such a pleasure to be able to spend some time with you and to get this, I don't know, your inspiration after you've just spent such valuable time with lavender.
Yes.
Thanks
Well,
again.
I encourage everybody to hang out with lavender because it is one of the most fabulous plants. I mean, all the plants are fabulous, but lavender is a special one for sure.
It is. Well, thank you so much, Pam.
Thank you so much for having me, Rosalee. It's been a pleasure.
Thanks for being here. Don't forget to head over to the show notes at herbswithrosaleepodcast.com to download your beautifully illustrated recipe card and to get a transcript of this show. There, you'll also be able to sign up for my weekly newsletter, which is the best way to stay in touch with me. And you can find more from Pam at wakeuptonature.com. That's a great URL. wakeuptonature.com. If you'd like more herbal episodes to come your way, then one of the best ways to support this podcast is by subscribing on YouTube or your favorite podcast app. I deeply believe that this world needs more herbalists and plant-centered folks, and I'm so glad that you're here as part of this herbal community. Also, a big round of thanks to the people all over the world who make this podcast happen week to week. Nicole Paul is the project manager who oversees the whole operation, from guest outreach to writing show notes to actually uploading each episode and so many other things I don't even know. She really holds this whole thing together. Francesca is our fabulous video and audio editor. She not only makes listening more pleasant, she also adds beauty to the YouTube videos with plant images and video overlays. Tatiana Rusikova is the botanical illustrator who creates gorgeous plant and recipe illustrations for us. I love them. I know that you do too. Christy edits the recipe cards, and then Jenny creates them as well as the thumbnail images for YouTube. Alex is our tech support and social media manager, and Karen and Emily are our student services coordinators and community support. For those of you who like to read along, Jennifer is who creates the transcripts for us each week. Xavier, my handsome French husband, is the cameraman and website IT guy. It takes an herbal village to make it all happen, including you. One of my favorite things about this podcast is hearing from you. I read every comment that comes in, and I'm excited to hear your herbal thoughts on lavender. All right, you have done it. You have made it to the very end of the show, which means you get your very own gold star and this herbal tidbit. Well, I'm so glad that Pam brought up the differences between lavender and lavandin. I think that's something that gets often overlooked because while these two are related, they're so very different, and it's important to know what you're working with, especially as herbalists. There's a lot of reasons why there's this confusion. They do look similar to each other, but also many garden nurseries sell lavandin as lavender, so it's really easy to get them confused. Lavender, true lavender, tends to be a smaller bush, the stems are shorter, and the flower head is also smaller. When you see these large, grandiose bushes with long flower heads, big long flower heads, that's probably lavandin. If you're buying lavender, be sure to get one specifically labeled with the botanical name Lavandula angustifolia. If you do have the opportunity to smell both of these plants, that will also help you to tell the difference. Lavender is much sweeter than its camphor-filled cousin lavandin, so that's something you could check out at a nursery. If they sell both, smell them both. Lavandin is also easier to grow than lavender, and it produces a lot more flowers, which makes it a cheaper plant to produce. So as a result, this is what's often used as a scent in commercial cleaning products like dish soap and detergent and hair and body care. Most often, that is actually lavandin, unless it specifically says otherwise. I live in zone 4, where it's very dry and hot in the summer, which lavender loves. But not many lavender varieties really like the cold, so I specifically grow Munstead, which is a type of cultivar of Lavender angustifolia, and it tolerates our really cold winters. So that's a tip if you happen to live in a cold place like I do. Once it's established, lavender is really easy to grow. It does want plenty of sun, it likes really well-drained soils, it doesn't like soggy soils. It doesn't want to be fertilized. All I do is I prune it back every year by cutting off the flower stems with a sickle, and this helps to keep it in a pretty mound shape. So you do want to cut it all back every year. But I don't just get rid of those stems. What I do is I take all of the harvest of all of the old stems, and there'll be some leaves in there and old flower heads. Those still smell really great. Like, I wouldn't use them for medicine, but they have a nice scent. So what I do is I dry them, and then I put them into old pillowcases, and then I line those at the bottom of my linen drawers. So you just want to make sure everything's totally dry before you put them in the bottom of your linen drawer. But then it's really lovely. They make everything smell so great. And it's a great way to use any leftover lavender that you have from growing in your own garden. I'm curious, how do you work with lavender? Are you excited to try this syrup? I definitely am. I'm looking forward to hearing from you all about lavender.